Hello, friends. Good morning and welcome you all once again on this online lecture platform. And in today's lecture, we'll continue with the topic that is measures of dispersion. So far, in our previous lectures, we have already covered measurement of central tendency. In that, we have covered mean, mode, and median. Now, in this today's lecture, we're going to see dispersion. Okay, so let's check the details. In this particular topic, we're going to study measures of dispersion, and in that, we're going to see how it is measured, and it is measured by three ways. In that, we calculate mean deviation, then standard deviation, as well as variation. So, in previous lectures, we have covered central tendency, and in that we have studied mean, mode, and median. So all these three parameters or the measures of central tendency, they represents central tendency. Okay, means they represents central values. Okay, of observation. So various measures of central tendency gives an estimate of central value around which individual observations are distributed. So in our previous lectures, in that we have already covered mean, mode, median. So all these values, these represent central values around which individual observations they are distributed, and it gives an idea about central value. Okay, in normal average, we have seen that how to calculate average, and that average it represents the entire set of data or the entire set of observation. Okay, so measures of dispersion gives an idea about spread about an average. So in this particular topic, what we study that how the things they are dispersed from central value, mean, or they are dispersed from central tendency, means how the values they get dispersed or scattered. Okay, how the values they get dispersed or they get scattered. Okay, the central value may be same in two or more distribution, but may differ with respect to dispersion. Okay, so in dispersion, basically what we will going to study how value they get scattered along around the central values. Okay, it is a famous statement given by George Simpson and Fritz. According to them, an average does not tell the full story. It is barely full representative of mass unless we know the manner in which individual items are scattered around it. And a further description of series is necessary if we were to gauge how representative the average is. Okay, according to this statement, it is elaborated as that an average is a single value or central value which typically represents the entire distribution. Okay, so what average represents? It represents the entire distribution. However, on other hand, dispersion indicates extent to which individual values fall away. Simply, in simple words, we can say that in dispersion, we're going to study how the values they get scattered around that central values. Okay, so let's check. Here there are important measures of dispersion, means how we can measure the dispersion, and these are some of the modes by which we can measure dispersion, and it is calculated by range, then it is calculated by mean deviation or average deviation, and last it is calculated by standard deviation and variance. So these are some methods by which we can measure dispersion. Okay, in that we'll first see range. So before going to start range, there is another topic related to this means parameters, and they are known as coefficient. Okay, so these measures, they are used for comparing two or more series expressed in different unit, because these are independent units in which problems are expressed. Okay, so these are measures and they are used to study an independent unit of different series or two or more series. However, the relative measure of dispersion is called coefficient of dispersions. So in simple words, these are nothing but coefficient of dispersion. Okay, and it is calculated by the formula, that is relative measure of dispersion, and it is calculated by absolute measure of dispersion upon mean into 100. And these are some relative measures that are for different parameters. We'll get back into the slide. And so next we're going to see what actually range is. So here in this slide we have seen that these are the three methods or the three ways by which we can measure dispersion. In that we'll first going to study range. So range, it is a simple parameter to calculate, and it is represented by or calculated by large value minus small value. Suppose if you have given series of observations or data, so in that you have to find large value or largest value, and you have to also find smallest value, and you have to just subtract smallest value from largest value. Okay, so this is the very simple parameter to calculate, and let's check the example. Here in example first, the hemoglobin percentage values of 10% of a village were recorded as 12.5, 12.8, 13.2, 13.7, 13.9, 14, 14.4 up to 14.9 gram per 100 cc. Okay, so this is the problem, and we have to find out range for this problem. Now solution. So first what we have to do, we have to find highest value or largest value, and if you look at the series or you observe the series carefully, then you will find that 14.9 is the largest value, whereas 12.5 is the lowest value. So according to formula, you have to just subtract smallest value from largest value, and in the solution you can see that 12.5 is subtracted from 14.9, and the answer is 2.4. So the range for this particular data is 2.4. Now how to calculate coefficient of range? So coefficient of range, it is simply calculated by lowest value minus smallest value upon lowest value plus smallest value. Okay, so in this first we have already calculated a range, that is lowest value minus smallest value. So just we have to do exactly opposite. We have to add both of these values, and we have to take a ratio, and in that you can see that 2.4 upon 27.4, it is equal to 0.0856. So for this particular series of data, the coefficient of range is 0.0856. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to first calculate, or we have to first find out highest value. Okay, and we have to find out also lowest value, and simply by subtracting lowest value highest value lowest value minus smallest value, we can find a range. And also if you want to find a coefficient of range, so the same way we have to do, but we have to calculate additional parameter, that is we have to add lowest value as well as smallest value. So both addition and subtraction of these highest as well as lowest value, we get coefficient of range. Then second example, it is given that data on number of secondary branches in pulse, that is P P, are given below. Find out range and its coefficient. Similar way, we'll find highest value, and it is found to be 26, while lowest value it is 8. So simply subtracting 8 out of from 26 will get 18, and for this series 18 is the range. And similarly, coefficient of range, so by adding both values we'll get number 34, and 18 divided by 34 we get 0.53. so in this way we can calculate range. Next, this is group data. Okay, so we have to find out range for this group data. This is another example, and in that it is in example it is given that calculate the range and coefficient of range from the following data recorded on number of cluster per plant in blackgram. So as we have studied, this is group data, and here groups are made continuous. It is actually problem from continuous series. In that groupings are made, say for example 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, up to 70 to 80, and respective plants means their frequency is given. Say for example for first group 10 to 20 group it is 6, for 20 to 30 group it is 10, up to the 70 to 80 for it is 4. So how to solve this problem? In solution it is given that we have to find out largest value as well as smallest value. For this kind of problem, the largest value is the upper limit of last class. Okay, please listen carefully. For such kind of problem or such kind of series, the largest value is upper limit of last class and smallest value is lower limit of first class. For this series, largest value is 80, means largest value of upper limit is upper limit of last class is 80, and smallest value is the lower limit, and it is 10. So simply by subtracting 10 from 80 we'll get 70. So for this series the range is 70. Then coefficient of range, so it is calculated by two methods. So first method, calculation is based on upper limit and lower limit of two classes. Here we have already calculated range, so we have to calculate L plus S, and it is 90. So 70 upon 90 it is means solved for, and answer for this is 0.78. So this is first method. And in case of second method, calculation is based on midpoint of last and first class. So here midpoints are calculated, and then by putting these midpoints in the formula it is solved. So for last class midpoint is 75, and for first class midpoint is 15. So 75 minus 15 it is equal to 60. In the similar way, 75 plus 15 it is equal to 90. So 60 upon 90 is 0.67. So in this way we can calculate a range for group data. Okay, so this is all about the range. In next lecture we're going to see next parameter. Okay, thanks.